What are you looking at?
Target locked.
That was a hyperbolic recreation of a DBD match that I think really shows how I like to play the animatronic. I happen to catch both Haiti and Nicolas Cage out of position while doing my rounds, and I scare him just enough into popping his ult. W pallet from that guy? Afterwards, I make pretty quick work of the Haiti.
I don't usually kill morons this fast.
I try to go through this door because I'm trying to patrol the generators before realizing that is a foolish idea because I can hear the Nicolas Cage on the other side of this wall. And at which point he decides to run directly into my loving and caring arms. I do a cheeky little play here by hiding in the nearest door, trying to see if anybody's gonna come and pick up the Nick. And thankfully, the hero of our story, Haiti Core, decides to fall for my bait, giving me another easy down. I'm not sure why, but this Dwight seems to think that if he stands still, I won't be able to see him on this gen. And to top it all off, I totally whiff this axe swing on a Michaela Reed before she decides to give up and start pointing at this door. Have I mentioned that we are still at 5 gens? Old Willie Afton is deceptively simple on the surface, just being another ranged killer with a teleport, like we don't have enough of those as it is. But dig a little deeper and you can turn the trap into a true gem. When Springtrap was announced during the 9-year anniversary stream, the hype was off the charts for FNAF and DBD fans alike. FNAF was the most requested franchise to be in the game up until that point, and they finally just announced it to the world. Dude, they put freaking Freddy Fazbear in the video game. At the time, DBD and I were taking a bit of a break, and I wasn't actively playing, but even I was still keeping up with the speculation around Springtrap. There were so many ideas being thrown around for how his power would work. Things like hallucinations from FNAF 3, or more in-depth ideas like this one I found where Springtrap would make use of vents and survivors would be able to block them. It really did seem like the developers cared about the source material, working directly with Scott Cawthon for the chapter. So I was optimistic that they would make a really good, unique ability for Springtrap. And on the Tuesday of May 27th, we would get the much anticipated power reveal during the second 9th anniversary livestream.
So I had this idea of doing something that we'd never really tried before, where we focus Springtrap kind of as a grab-based killer.
Dude, I like to grab things.
There he is right there on screen.
There he is, yeah.
I think we even have another one of him doing a little bit of a grab.
Yeah, so he has a large pizza knife as his main weapon, and a heavy fire axe as his power.
Oh, the fire axe.
I'm sorry, did you say a fire axe? I gotta give credit where it's due. This is hands down the best that Springtrap has ever looked up to this point, and I think the door mechanic is adapted perfectly to Dead by Daylight. He's just so full of personality and energy. Springtrap is just having a good time in the trials, and I like that. From his quirky menu animations and amazing voice lines, you can tell they really did put a lot of care and thought into this character. I do just have one note, however. Here's a little pop quiz. Which game in the FNAF series does Springtrap wield a fire axe? Spoilers, it's none of them, because in all of his appearances throughout the games, not once has he ever been seen with a fire axe. The only time that William Afton has ever been associated with an axe is in fan material. I get that it's hard to make a power based on FNAF since it and DBT are such conceptually different games, but is this seriously the best we could come up with, guys? It makes it look like the devs just Googled Springtrap and based his power off the first few pieces of fan art that they saw. Alright, so maybe it had slipped my mind that this was behavior we were dealing with, because of course they're going to make the new super ultra popular killer as easy to understand for new players as possible. And I guess there's nothing really wrong with that, but after that I just kind of wrote the whole thing off and went back to not caring about DBD. But eventually I succumbed, picking the game back up again, and the first new killer I bought was of course Springtrap. And I gotta say, he is quite fun. Looking back less as a FNAF fan and more as a DBD fan, I think they did a good enough job. It just kind of left me wanting more, you know? Like I said previously, my favorite part of his kit is without a doubt the security doors. At the start of each match, 7 security doors are placed at random around the map. These doors allow for map traversal for both the killer and survivors. More often than not, the doors are placed near generators, making them essential for map pressure and interrupting survivors. When I spawn in, I usually will teleport to the nearest security door and look for any traces of survivors, like scratch marks. And if I don't find anyone, I teleport to the next one until I do find someone. When traveling through the doors, you become undetectable, and you keep that for 20 seconds after exiting. You can use this to catch survivors off guard by teleporting to somewhere out of their line of sight and then ambushing them while you have no terror radius. Though, like I said before, Springtrap isn't the only one who can interact with the doors. The survivors can use cameras attached to each door to track you down and reveal your aura to all their teammates. They can also teleport between each door, similar to you. And if you let this get out of hand, they can very quickly turn your buff into theirs. There is, however, a way to counter this. If you travel through the doors at the same time as a survivor, you can jump scare them, getting an instant down and picking them up. While rare, you can actually see the aura of doors actively being used in yellow. And if you travel to either the start or end doors, you will successfully grab the survivor.
Maybe if I'd raised you, I could have made you better. And not some weak, sniveling pussy starved for attention. But there's no fixing that now. Weak? You. I know. You're a fucking disappointment.
His power may make no sense canonically, but gosh darn it if it isn't fun to use. His power is simple enough to understand, which is helpful for any new players, but still has a high enough skill ceiling to get veteran players to keep using him. Unlike the Huntress's hatchets, Springtrap's axe has a lot of weight and is pulled down by gravity. Where most killer projectiles really only go in a straight line with a little fall off, Springtrap can throw in an arc, allowing for a much more aggressive playstyle with crazy potential in the right hands. Take this clip for example. I'm chasing a Quentin around a medium-sized loop, and my options for this situation are either A, continue to run around the rock like a fool, or make a quick little throw over the top of the rock for an easy down. Since the axe has such a drastic arc, it can be thrown over most medium loops with relative ease, which can take survivors by surprise if they don't know it's coming. There is, however, a downside to this arc that I've run into while playing. The amount of times that I have trapped a survivor in a corner expecting an easy down just for my axe to come straight out of my forehead and miss the survivor completely is ridiculous. While holding the axe, Springtrap's movement speed is 4.4 meters per second, but while not holding it, the number is increased to 4.6. Because of this little detail, I usually like to throw my axe before I start my early game rounds, so I have a better chance of catching survivors when I find them. You can also use this to your advantage during a chase. You use your 4.6 movement speed to get close enough to confirm an axe hit, and only recall the axe once you know the hit is going to land. If you hit a healthy survivor with your axe, it gets embedded into their back, allowing you to grab them for a quick down. This is pretty good for avoiding flashlight saves, and it's faster than downing a survivor and picking them up. While the axe is in a survivor, not only are they affected with the oblivious status effect, but you can also see the aura of the axe as they're running away. If you miss a survivor, however, it stays stuck to the environment, creating an AoE that will reveal any survivors in its radius with killer instinct.
Man, it'd be really easy to hit these shots if somebody was helping me. So someone has to work around here. I said someone has to get off his fat ass and work around here.
Just because you're not a very good looper.
I am a good fucking looper. I'm just stuck at these shit loops because someone won't get off his fat fucking ass and help me.
I'm not your duo.
Stay in character. Stay in character.
You're not even in 2v.
Stay in character.
Fuck you.
What did you say?
Springtrap's add-ons are some of the best I've seen in the game. There's so much playstyle potential just with these add-ons alone. I could talk ad nauseum about just these add-ons and all the builds they can make. From speed control to endgame pressure, Springtrap has a lot of tools at his disposal to get the job done. If you've been around my channel for a while, you'll know I'm quite a big fan of haste builds in DBD. And despite diminishing returns brutally murdering any chance of haste being viable anymore, it's still a lot of fun to play on Springtrap. Foxy's Hook is an add-on that gives all players within the axe's radius a 7% haste bonus for 5 seconds. And when paired with the perk, batteries included, when chasing around gens, Springtrap can become a chase monster. But truly, Foxy's Hook pales in comparison to arguably Purple Guy's best add-on, Bonnie's Guitar Strings. This add-on shows you the repair progress of all generators while you're moving through the doors, at the cost of not retaining any undetectable after exiting a door. Dude, this add-on is just so good that most of the time I just forego any sort of stealth play whatsoever. If I'm not running this add-on, I must be trying some new alternate build I've cooked up because this thing hardly ever leaves my build. It's not even that much of a downside considering how fucking loud this guy is. Oh, it's me, Springtrap. I'm just gonna stomp around on my big fat robot feet, alerting all within earshot that a big dumb idiot is on his way, no matter if I'm undetectable or not. But I digress. Running this add-on with an aggressive gen kicking build is one of my absolute favorite ways to play a Springtrap. Dude, this is so many Sables. I see him, Springtrap. I see him.
I see you.
What the heck? Dude, she scared the heck out of me. Okay. Buddy thinks that they hit those. Hello. That was way too high. Oh, Sable? Dude, what is this? Sable City? Okay. Nice flashlight. Okay, that was an auto aim if I've ever seen one. W. Alright, where's this guy? Aw, what? That's so unlucky. Wait a minute. I seen you. Nice. Oh, decisive strike. Yeah, I heard her footsteps going behind me, so I was like, wait a minute. I think a Sable is running in this room. Dude, I love Bonnie's guitar strings. It's honestly just like one of my favorite add-ons of all time. The information that it gives you is so good. Aw, man. I was too greedy. W. Okay, one person going for save. I'm gonna go over there. You think I'm stupid, buddy? Like, oh, I wonder where she went.
Go on. Scream.
Scream! Alright, bro. Yeah, no, I knew I heard something. I knew I wasn't crazy. I am not crazy! But why is it you again? I wanted to find the healthy Sable. Thank you. What? Ah, they had a key. GG. When I first picked up Springtrap, I was definitely having a bit of trouble with his projectile. I was a bit more used to the quicker and smaller projectiles of the Deathslinger and the Trickster. I ended up missing a lot of pretty simple shots just because I was too impatient when looping. Good Survivor players will try to avoid entering animations that would give the killer a free hit, like vaulting or dropping a pallet. But have no fear, we can play around this by slowing down and not being so hasty with our projectile so we can guarantee a hit every time. Okay, so maybe Springtrap isn't all sunshine and orbitals. It can be surprisingly difficult to hit a survivor that's running up in your face trying to confuse you. Hence why so many survivors employ this strategy when they're out of options. For instance, I literally chased this Daryl the entire game and only hit him twice out of 8 axe throws. Oh my god, how do I keep missing on this fucking one guy? This guy is even juking me as a bot. Thankfully, you don't always have to hit your throws for them to be effective. Like I said, Springtrap is amazing at zoning survivors away from where you don't want them. If they don't respect the zoning and try to get away with a vault or a pallet, a lot of the time you'll be able to get a hit on them. And if they do respect your zoning, you just push them into a much more favorable spot. What if I were to tell you that Springtrap actually has a secret secondary win condition called holy fucking shit, did you see that? Oh!
GG easy, no sport.
Springtrap's heavy projectiles allow you to partake in a little bit more chicanery than the other projectile killers. There's just something so viscerally satisfying about hitting an axe that you weren't 100% sure on. No matter how good or bad you actually do in the game is completely irrelevant. A true Spring master knows that as long as you hit a crazy clip, then nothing else truly matters. Because at least you know, man, I am so goated. And that is just truly how it feels to play the Animatronic.